deadly military strike in the southern Caribbean. The images just in here, the U.S. targeting a Venezuelan boat. The president says the vessel was carrying illegal drugs, headed for the U.S.
Illegal
the president
drugs.
said just a short time ago, 11 gang members were killed in the strike. The president authorizing military force against drug cartels in recent days, and our Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas leading us off with the breaking news.
Tonight, in a major escalation, the U.S. military launching a deadly attack on this suspected drug smuggling boat. President Trump releasing this dramatic video, allegedly of the drug speedboat being destroyed.
Over the last few minutes, literally shot out a boat, a drug-carrying boat, a lot of drugs in that boat.
According to President Trump, 11 people on board were killed. All alleged members of Venezuela's Tren de Aragua gang, which the president claims operates under the control and approval of Venezuela's president, Nicolas Maduro. Trump says that Maduro is responsible for mass murder, drug trafficking, sex trafficking, and acts of violence and terror across the United States and the Western Hemisphere. It comes just days after the U.S. announced plans to boost forces off Venezuela to combat threats from drug cartels. The U.S. official confirming to ABC News 8 Navy ships, including the amphibious assault ship U.S. Iwo Jima,
don't worry, hang in there. Almost there.
Venezuela's president has warned that any U.S. military action would be met with an armed fight. David, so far, no response from the Venezuelan government. President Trump saying bluntly tonight, consider this a warning shot to the Venezuelan gang, which he has designated a terrorist organization. David?
Pierre Thomas with late reporting live in Washington. Pierre, thank you. The other breaking headline involves the city of Chicago. President Trump saying late today, we're going in. The governor of Illinois responding tonight comes, of course, after the armed National Guard in Washington, D.C., the federal takeover of police there, and after the National Guard in Southern California. And this news on Chicago tonight comes as a federal judge rules this evening the Trump administration broke the law with what it did in California. Mary Hughes with the White House tonight.
Tonight, a federal judge ruling the Trump administration acted illegally by sending the National Guard to Los Angeles to put down immigration protests. Judge Charles Breyer accusing the administration of trying to create a national police force with the president as its chief. But tonight, President Trump undeterred, saying he's expanding his crime crackdown and will soon send the National Guard into Chicago.
Well, we're going in. I didn't say when we're going in.
The president setting his sights on Chicago after sending 2,000 National Guard troops to patrol the streets of Washington, D.C.
If the governor of Illinois would call me up, I would love to do it. Now, we're going to do it anyway. We have the right to do it because I have an obligation to protect this country.
But Illinois Governor J.D. Pritzker says no.
I'm aware that the President of the United States likes to go on television and beg me to call and ask him for troops. I find this extraordinarily strange, as Chicago does not want troops on our streets.
It comes after a violent Labor Day weekend in Chicago. At least 58 people shot, 8 killed. Still, local
if I have any soldiers watching my videos, guys, I don't feel safe around either cops, law enforcement, or...
He has surrounded himself with groveling yes men who are too weak to restrain his most
officers, because you never know what's in their mind.
Or who share them.
Yeah, they're doing something crazy, right, Papa?
As a governor who cares about the well-being of my people, I can't live in a fantasy land where I pretend Trump is not tearing this country apart for personal greed and power.
And David, it's unclear when Trump would send those troops to Chicago, but again, the judge in that court ruling making it clear the federal government is not supposed to use the military for law enforcement. And Governor Pritzker...
Yeah, and then why do we have law enforcement in the first place?
David.
Mary Hughes live at the White House. Mary, thank you. To the other news this Tuesday night, we're following a horrific shark attack, the Labor Day attack in Key Largo, Florida, an 8-year-old boy. The shark attacked his leg.
Sharky.
Heroin called 911. The boy airlifted to a hospital, and what we know about the surgery so far. Victor Kendall from Florida.
Oh, there you go.
Tonight, an 8-year-old boy airlifted to the hospital in Miami after suffering severe bite wounds from a shark off the coast of Key Largo.
Key Largo.
The harrowing 911 call coming in just after 3 p.m. Monday. The boy's leg bitten as he and his family snorkeled near Horseshoe Reef, about 4 miles from Key Largo.
How bad is the bite? I gotta stop the bleeding.
People on a diving boat nearby hearing the yells. a good Samaritan helping guide the family's boat 20 minutes to shore where first responders were waiting to board. Tonight, the sheriff says the boy made it through surgery overnight, adding doctors were able to save his leg.
David, authorities say it was likely a reef shark. Tonight they are praising the quick actions of that good Samaritan.
Reef shark?
David?
We're glad to hear this.
Never heard of that one before.
Thank you. From that shark attack over the holiday to the Labor Day storms, tonight the fires and the evacuations underway. The wildfires in the west, the fast-moving 2-2 fire.
If you're in the ocean, guys, be careful. But don't mess with sharks, guys, because
flash flooding, meanwhile,
they're not humans.
San Antonio, Texas.
They're wild animals.
Authorities recovering the bodies of a man and woman swept away by the
Don't be like, oh no, nothing's gonna happen. Bullshit.
Still here with Ginger Z is now tracking tonight. So let's get right to Ginger on all of this. Ginger, good to see you.
Alrighty.
Hey, good to see you as well, David. Let's start with the heat, and that shows you advisories all the way from Escondido in Los Angeles up to the northern panhandle of Idaho. So it's far-reaching, and it's intense. Extreme heat warnings, both Yakima over to Spokane, but red flag warnings, that high fire danger in the Klamath Basin up through the southern Cascades of Oregon. Now, it's not just daily records from Spokane to Yakima, but all-time September heat that could fall tomorrow and Thursday. That's why they're circled in red there. And then you see those Phoenix numbers from 104 tomorrow to 94. That's partly monsoon, so that's going to cool things off, but you could also see flash flooding with it, and that's why we have flood watches in place for Death Valley National Park up through parts of Nevada. And a quick look at that area of thunderstorm we're watching way out there in the Atlantic. 70% chance of becoming our next depression, and if it gets a name, it would be Gabrielle. David.
We'll track it right here with you, Ginger. Thank you. We turn now to the childhood prank that turned deadly. Tonight, a man now charged with murder, allegedly shooting and killing an 11-year-old boy who rang his doorbell and ran away. Here's our chief national correspondent, Matt Gupton.
Tonight, Houston man is now charged with murder, accused of chasing after and killing an 11-year-old boy during a door knocking prank. Cameras rolling as Houston's major assaults unit took the suspect in for initial questioning. Authorities say around 11 p.m. on Saturday night, 11-year-old Julian Guzman and a group of friends were playing ding-dong ditch in a Houston neighborhood, ringing the doorbell of this house and running off. Police say 42-year-old Gonzalo Leon Jr. then ran out of the house with a handgun, firing multiple times down the street, hitting Julian in the back.
What's up? What's up?
The 11-year-old seen in this GoFundMe was taken to the hospital and pronounced dead the next day.
In my opinion, it doesn't look like any type of self-defense. It wasn't close to the house.
David, police say they found a significant number of firearms inside that suspect's home. He's currently being held without bail, and police departments across the country are warning against these kinds of pranks, saying that the defensive responses of homeowners can lead to very dangerous consequences.
All right, Matt Gupton, thank you. Tonight, several victims of Jeffrey Epstein are in Washington, D.C. They have met with the Speaker of the House. They're pushed to get the Jeffrey Epstein files released.
I don't care who's in the damn files. Just release the damn file, boy.
To release the files. Here's Jay O'Brien.
Tonight, as Congress returns to Washington, their first order of business, the Jeffrey Epstein investigation. For more than 2 hours, women who say they were victimized by Epstein meeting behind closed doors with lawmakers, including Speaker Mike Johnson.
I don't care who's in the list, just show it.
There was outrage. It was both, I would describe it as heartbreaking and infuriating. that justice has been delayed so long.
But Johnson still refuses to let the House vote to compel the Justice Department to release the full Epstein files. His fellow Republican, Congressman Thomas Massey, tells me Johnson is under pressure from President Trump, and that Trump just wants this to go away.
Oh, yeah, right.
Thinks he can just make this go away by telling people there's nothing here. The problem is this is bigger than
I'll finish this tomorrow.
And you can't make it go away by saying
have a good one.
Late today,